Trending at $1.50, XRP is gaining back its speed, both concerning its market price and in terms of the lawsuit. Hey insiders, welcome to our channel, Financial Insights, the place where you are always a little bit smarter and wiser after seeing one of our valuable videos so you can develop your financial knowledge. Don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to our channel. XRP has been working on its media presence lately. It has announced that the 43rd Treasurer of the United States of America will be joining the board of directors of XRP, Rosie Rios, the former treasurer who served under President Barack Obama, spoke at the annual Institute Global Conference in Beverly Hills, California. She stated that Ripple is one of the best examples on the usage of cryptocurrency based on substantial and legitimate road to proceed with the global payments. Rios has always been into financial innovativeness, and such a personality joining the board of directors is enormous news for Ripple's XRP. The company had previously hired Christina Campbell, a senior executive at the fintech firm's Green Dot, the world-leading issuer of prepaid debit cards, and PayNearMe, in the face of its chief financial officer, who in a press release was announced to be responsible for managing the firm's financial business, also spoke about how well-positioned XRP is, in order to improve the global financial and payment systems in ways yet uncovered. These two additions into the personnel has made XRP stronger, given the lawsuit between XRP and the SEC. Ripple is already in a favorable position. The San Francisco-based startup company Ripple has the capacity to replace the entire banking system, and because of the current case, Ripple's XRP is gaining a lot of public attention. Even if we do not consider the coin's capabilities, the company's media presence and prompt management are getting it into a win situation. XRP was trending sideways and was not in the spotlight for years, but now, after the suit, XRP is getting favorable media and public attention. The developments on the case till now have been a positive one for XRP. Because of this case, Ripple is about to shoot its $2 mark target. In addition to two other members, the CEO of XRP, Garlinghouse, expresses that the invaluable experience of Rosie Rios in both public and private sectors provides the company with an appreciating asset for Ripple, primarily when the industry works to define crypto's future. Further adding to it, he told about Ripple's intentions of going international, to champion for the regulatory clarity in the US. Even though the case is not over yet, Ripple Labs is firm on their beliefs that the ultimate result will be a positive one. Moreover, they have started working on getting their company public after the case is over, which was confirmed by the SBI's CEO. We can find excellent planning behind the lawsuit. Also, it is now expected that Ripple is more on the winning side. Moving aside the case, not just the XRP holders, but the few global elites have been indicating on Ripple's take as the world reserve currency. The International Monetary Fund, at the Bank of England, has hinted towards the development of digital currency. Director Christine Lagarde spoke about IMF's special drawing rights, abbreviated as SDR mechanism, to replace the existing reserve currencies. It's not an old take that the best currency, having the ability to replace the banking system, is XRP. If at all, the global financial reserve opts for conserving reserve in the form of digital currency. Ripple's XRP is the one to be called first. The structural trade and current account imbalances have created a trifling dilemma that has created an increased risk to the geopolitically safe and fair monetary system. With the trade wars in place, there is a shift needed from the multipolar to the unipolar order. The current order has been capitalizing into a debt-driven, dollar-based model that is fragile and biased to support the management of the trade conflict, creating a global demand for US dollar as a reserve currency, and for the same, the state has to run persistent current account deficits alongside the rest of the world. French President Valéry Giscard d'Estaing famously called America an exorbitant privilege, which can take away the country's fiscal discipline in the near future for the high accumulation of federal deficits and growing federal debt. The policies which were favored by the former President Donald Trump were doing nothing but exacerbating the tendency even more. The International Monetary Fund estimates the US's GDP to deteriorate in terms of investment positions in the coming years. due to cuts in taxes and increased expenditure on the military, with the net liabilities rising to 50% of the GDP by the year 2022. The recent trade wars have been acting like a catalyst to fuel the US dollar as a weapon to jeopardize the geopolitical disputes, which has reached a situation of immense volatility for the whole of the international monetary system, resulting to many other directly or indirectly linked economics, holding a large volume of US dollar to sink. To prevent the crisis, gold was supposed to be taken as the world reserve, but gold's store of value is not a match for the global liquidity. That is why a significant reserve currency that is not issued by a national authority is needed to reduce America's outsized influence over the monetary system. Following gold, the next best option is the SDR, or Special Drawing Rights, of IMF, which can become the principal reserve asset as per the Second Amendment of the body's Articles of Agreement. But the problem with SDR is, it is not widely used, at least not in numbers to serve as the primary international reserve currency. SDR always has a crucial hurdle concerning the geopolitical interests and priorities of central banks issuing reserve. To overcome these hurdles, a Palais Royal report suggested IMF work with the private sector to explore ways to extend SDR's implementation globally through private transactions. However, apart from all these suggestions, the World Economic Forum has suggested the adoption of digital currency for acting as a global reserve currency, for cryptocurrencies enables the private sectors to directly work with the central banks to create a digital SDR for storage of value using a unit of account, forming an ESDR, which the IMF will entirely back determined ratio, making it the quintessential reserve asset. We know that the shift from US dollars to the ESDE would be gradual, but for that, a sufficiently large ESDR denominated market will be required. The SDR would be issued by a politically neutral body owned by either private or central banks. This is an excellent opportunity for XRP to land into the already created demand and showcase its expertise. Next, let's look at the news regarding XRP to boost with the new Bretton Woods Agreement. Last year, when the DC Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund called for a new Bretton Woods moment, a current of enthusiasm ran through the entire crypto market. For those who don't know, the Bretton Woods Conference was established in 1944 to promote the gold standard and made the US dollar as the international reserve currency. For the same, the investors expect that after the original Bretton Woods Conference, the current one would give digital currencies, especially Ripple, the much-needed institutional adoptions. Adding to the expectations, an article presented by Kristalina Georgieva started a discussion revolving cryptocurrencies as the new international monetary system, as that it is the need of the hour due to the global pandemic, which would make the world economy smaller by 4.4%, stripping an estimate of $11 trillion of output by the end of 2021. This year, the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, in the Chicago Council Conference of Global Affairs ahead of the IMF and World Bank Spring Meeting, spoke about the need for a new global economy, further confirming the upcoming meetings for lighting the recent Bretton Woods Conference to save the current economy. The Bretton Woods Conference initially took place due to the destruction caused by the World War as a method to curate the new model economy. The current pandemic is another such time that calls for the Bretton Woods Conference, and it is likely that this time the new model economy will include cryptocurrency as a primal element. And who among all cryptos is best representing the financial system? XRP. The World Economic Forum stated that XRP is the safest and most relevant currency for central bank digital currency adoption. Further, Ripple's XRP has been called the future global payment currency. The future economic model requires CBDC as the heart for the financial, monetary system. All other financial institutions will be working under the CBDC's policy. Every state is required to have their own CBDC. With Ripple's massive financial plan, it has been building a core component to power all the CBDCs together. Furthermore, the CBDC's ledger works on the same blockchain technology as of XRP. Ripple's private ledger is more suitable for central banks to issue them and manage CBDCs, other currencies. However, this is what is missing for other currency blockchains' ledger. making XRP the world leader of digital currencies. With that, we have come to the end of the video. Did you invest in XRP? Comment down below your views. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe and check out our other valuable videos. See you soon at Financial Insights.